What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Tajayla Butter Kelly, y'all, with the recap report. And y'all, I am here with a powerhouse entrepreneur, author, and TV personality, Mychel Snoop Dillard. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Okay.
It's actually Mychel.
Mychel, see, I didn't want to mess it up, but I'm like, let me guess. I am sorry, Mychel. I like that name. How you feeling on the scale of 1 to 20?
Probably about a 15.
15?
What about you?
I'm probably like a 16. Okay. I'm going to go a little higher than you.
Right.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. I definitely want to go ahead and get into what you do. Also about this new love show. Okay. Snooping for Love. We're about to go ahead and get into it. So just going back to the defining moments. When you look back from Detroit to Atlanta, what were the real defining moments that really shaped the Snoop that we see today?
I think, and I call them like trajectory moments. So like moments in life where it's like you can go path A or path B, and it can totally change the outlook of what your life is going to look like or what it's going to end up being. And so I think for me, one was going to college at 16, going to Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. And then the next, big moment that, kind of shaped the Snoop that you guys see today is me deciding to move to Atlanta 16 years ago.
Okay. Now, you say you started college at 16. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were kind of growing up early, or you feel like that was kind of what you wanted to do?
Oh, I mean, I've always grown up early. I actually started school at 3.
Oh,
and so that was in Detroit. So yeah, I always was a little bit
ahead of the game. Okay. Now, when did you realize that your story wasn't just yours to carry and that it needed to become like a book?
I would say when my daughter passed, because, I've always been somebody that has kind of like been in the spotlight and more so inspiring when it came to business and sharing my story in regards to, my entrepreneurship journey. But having to go through that in the public eye, and, a lot of days, not even wanting to get out of the bed, going through depression, wanting to, mask that pain, going through periods of not necessarily caring about business, just going from being this major, super serial entrepreneur that is always about business and opening up businesses and, hey, what's next? What am I going to do next? Mm-hmm. That was a very difficult time. And I know that other people, have also walked that path as well. And so as I was just sharing some of the down moments, on social media, it really helped a lot of other people. And so I felt like in telling my story and writing my book that it would be something that would not only be a legacy and a testament to my daughter, but also something that would help others as well.
Now, was writing it healing for you or hard or both?
It was a little bit of both. So I actually had a ghost writer. Shout out to Ria Avant. So she was the ghost writer of my book. And she's somebody that not only knew me, but knew my daughter as well. She's hung out with my daughter. So she was able to put some things in there that I was just like, oh, wow, okay. But it was difficult because, you're reliving, some of those difficult moments. And so how we did that was through a series of interviews. And she told me, you might want to have a couple drinks.
It's gonna get real
before we get started. Yep, gonna get real. And so we laughed, we cried, we hugged. It was a whole bonding experience. Through the process of, authoring this book. So yes, it was, so many different emotions that were shared throughout the process.
Okay. Now, how have your healing process shaped the way that you run your businesses and show up for people?
My healing process has just totally changed me as a person. I would say it's definitely humbled me. I was just talking to somebody right before this interview, my publicist, and, was telling her that, my nickname, everybody used to call me Big Money Snoop. And so when my daughter passed, I no longer wanted to hear that because my values, things that were important to me, really changed, after going through something like that. And so I would definitely say it's, humanized me more. It's humbled me more, giving me a sense of humility. And definitely it's made me more of an empathetic person for sure.
Okay. Now, what's the biggest lesson that you want readers to take from your story?
The biggest lesson that I want readers to take from my story is that you can get through anything, that we're all put here, for a reason. Sometimes, you'll have a little bit more weight on your back than others. Things may feel a little heavier, but you will make it. You will get through to the other side of your story.
Okay. Now let's get over into opening up a little bit about your personal life. So Snooping for Love. It shows a different side of you, a different version of you. Even the clips that I've seen, just kind of seeing your personality. What made you decide to open up that part of your life to the world?
A couple of different reasons. So, number one, I've always wanted to be in the TV and film industry. So, with me doing Snooping for Love, now I never thought that I wanted to be in front of the camera. I never was like, I want to be an actress, anything like that. I was like executive producer, director, still true to this whole serial entrepreneur journey, and I am the creator and executive producer of the show, but I also starred in it as well. And so, I think it was fun, to show people a whole different side of me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, well, not everybody, because the people that really know me, they were not surprised at all. But, people that have just only followed, business owner Snoop, I'm pretty sure will be a little surprised, by, some of my humor, my dialect, etc. I think during that period of my life, this was something that I needed. It also was a healing. It was a coping mechanism for me because, I was also going through a divorce at the time, which I was blindsided by. So going from losing my daughter, I think maybe a year and a half before we filmed, to then, shortly thereafter going through a divorce with my ex-wife. It was something that kind of helped me get my mojo back. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so that was why, I wanted to, do Snooping for Love.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Sorry. Now, back to the TV show. So I know reality TV, it can exaggerate a lot of stuff. So what did you insist on keeping real when it came to Snooping for Love?
I mean, nothing is really exaggerating on Snooping for Love. Everything that you see happened. I would say, so now this is the thing, right? When you film in a reality TV show, there's going to be liquor is around all day, every day. You know what I mean? Because, you do want people to be able to bring out their inner selves, people that may be a little bit more shy or whatever the case may be. And I will say, me personally, when I do get to drinking, I part of a little bit more the funnier side come out. I get a little bit more blunt. I'm already a blunt person, but I get a little bit more blunt. So nothing was exaggerated. Are you talking about the dinner scene?
I'm talking about just period, like as far as your personality, the girl's personality. Then y'all start filming something.
I mean, well, see, I don't know what the girl's personality was like before that show, because I didn't know any of them prior to Snooping for Love. My personality, I would say, when I take that blazer off, you know what I mean? When I take that tux off, that's who I am, so.
Were there any moments that caught you off guard when it came to filming? He was not expecting this during the filming process.
I will say, okay, so being an executive producer of my show, so there's a viral scene that we have in episode 2 where I am telling one of the young ladies, so we're doing the cut, and I cut one of the young ladies for not smelling the best. And, I had already smelled her episode 1, but I had decided to go ahead and move her along because I thought that she would be good for TV.
She would get it together.
Because it's not only am I on this show looking for love, but I'm also the executive producer and I need this show to be entertaining as well. So I thought that she'd get it together after my, speech in general to everybody where I didn't call anybody out or anything like that. The very next day, the girls come to the house to have dinner with me. Several of the girls come to me and pull me aside and they say, hey, I'm not going to be able to stay in the house if she stays there. We're having to clean up blood, and just all different types of things, So, and one of the producers comes to me and says the same thing. Hey, you're going to have to send her home, So, and then
God.
I, again, smell her myself. So now the dinner scene at this point, I definitely was a little bit beyond tipsy. And I would say probably had I not been drinking, I probably would not have went as hard on her. And I don't even think
you was telling them to go to the OBGYN, get that health insurance.
I mean, well, I felt like that was something that she needed to hear. I felt like that she had not been given, the proper lesson on, health etiquette, so because if she had, this smell wouldn't be seeping through. So, but I will say, so being the executive producer of the show, I watched that scene probably 15 times. And I was able to say, hey, take this out, put this in, don't show this, don't show that. And so after that, I said, people are either going to hate me or love me, but this scene has to stay because, it really, helps, bring number one, a conversation that needs to be had because, some folks need to get it together.
You offended people with this smell.
It did bring a lot of viewership to the show. So
okay. Now, while we're on that topic, I know you have like your expectations and your standards, hygiene being one of them. So what is it that you're looking for in a woman?
I'm looking for somebody that's very supportive. I'm looking for someone that is career oriented. I do want to have another child. So somebody that's, willing to, start a family, or have an addition to their family if they already have children. A woman that's mature, that has emotional intelligence. Those are, probably the main things, and just a kind-hearted person.
Now, with you being an entrepreneur, author, and all of the things that you have going on, are you looking for a woman that can help you aid in that, or somebody that has their own thing going on?
Well, sometimes aiding in that is just being, there for a person emotionally. At this point in my life, I'm 40. I pretty much got the business down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily need. Now, if you can come and bring things and help elevate me or, have ideas or things like that, that's fine. But, I don't need a personal assistant or anything like that.
Okay. Now, with the show expanding to Prime, the book and your ventures, what's the next chapter that you're most excited about?
The next chapter that I'm most excited about is more so just kind of pushing my book, getting my book out there. I really do think that my book is something that will help a lot of people. At this point, I'm not necessarily like, oh, I want a season 2 of Snooping for Love. I want to see what this season is going to do and what I can do past this. I eventually do want a documentary or a movie to be made about my life.
Okay.
Telling my story and my daughter's story as well. So that's, really where I want to take things.
Okay. Now, for my last question, what do you think most new entrepreneurs get wrong about building a brand that actually lasts?
Well, number one, most entrepreneurs don't realize just how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. And I think that, when they're going through the process and they see how difficult it is, they quit, just like with marriage, is another thing. I don't think anything worth having is going to be easy, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs give up too soon, before they actually get to where it is that they need to be. Another thing, I think a lot of entrepreneurs lack mentorship, and they don't invest in mentorship. They get out there, they try to do it on their own, and then they do it wrong. Yeah. And it takes them much longer. They end up spending much more money than they would have if they would have just paid for proper mentorship and guidance
instead of just jumping out there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Snoop, thank you so much for joining me with the recap report. I enjoyed talking to you. Good luck with everything that you have going on, and I'm definitely tuning in to the show.
All right. Enjoy talking to you as well. Yep. Make sure you tune in now.